So one thing I've been thinking about doing lately, actually I had someone ask me even, a very fine card collector, Jado, was asking me about showing an update on my Hall of Fame binder. Well, this is it. It's actually pretty hard to do this. So I'm actually holding my camera, which I don't normally do. I do have a stand for it, but this is the binder. And I'm just going to kind of flip through the pages, show you what I have. We'll talk about what I have missing, what players I have missing from my Hall of Fame binder. Now, if you remember, or if you don't know, my Hall of Fame binder is essentially this. If a player has a Topps card from 52 on, I'm not including the 51 set, I'm having one of their cards, so just one player in the binder. Just one card from each player in the binder, and then as you flip through the binder, you're actually just going through the year. So each row is for a separate year of Topps cards, going from 52 all the way up to, well, current as it gets with Hall of Famers. So I thought what I'd do is just kind of walk you through what I have. Obviously, these early 50 years, I don't have very many. But this was what I was going for in Strongsville. So I picked up the Johnny Mize and the Ralph Kiner in Strongsville. I picked up Phil Rizzuto at one of the previous shows that I'd gone to. But this is what I have for the early 50s. And so a couple that I'm missing the Satchel Paige, which will go here. And I don't know, that one might not, that one's not going to happen for a little while, but he's one of the players obviously I'm missing. I'm also missing a Jackie Robinson, which would probably end up on this page or early on the other page, the next page. And so this is kind of where we continue. I got the, I'll just kind of scroll down so you can see who I have for each year. And this has been a blast to put together. And I'll show you when we get to the end kind of one of the things that I'm doing. And so you can kind of see as we go year through year, there's the Stan Musial I just picked up this last week. I had to take out my Bill Mazeroski, which I hate to do. The Bill Mazeroski will go back in here. I will pick up either another Mini Minoso or an Ed Matthews that I can slot into another year at some point, because I want 60 to be Mazeroski. I don't want that to... I have others of his cards that I was able to swap out temporarily, but obviously I needed to get that Stan Musial in there. So as we continue, you can see this is kind of funny. This, for some reason, this 61, 62, and 63 page is actually pretty bare as well. You can see I've only got one of each of those, so I'm missing some other players. I'll talk about some of the players I'm so short on. If you are aware, if you're familiar with the Hall of Famers, you might pick up on them. But as we continue on, there's where the new Mazeroski is, and there's the Don Drysdale that I picked up this last week as well. So some nice cards here. Here's an Ernie Banks, which was a fairly recent pickup. That's one of my favorites of his cards. And Willie McCovey. Big old McCovey. Here's my 70 Clemente. Love having that. There's one of my favorite 71 cards right there in the center. Bob Gibson. I love that card. Fergie Jenkins. Got a couple of Cubs surrounding the Cardinal pitcher. It's probably a little unfair, but there's the Mays that I also picked up fairly recently. Actually, I picked that one up in Strongsville as well. Frank Robinson and Tony Oliva. There's Brooksy and Marichal, Stremski and Morgan and Dick Allen. I just did some switching around. I had to do a bunch of switching in order to accommodate my new Johnny bench. There with the final year Hank Aaron. Love that Dave Winfield card. This page has some. I had to take this one out. That was where my bench was previously. But I wanted this. I really wanted this bench. It's one of my favorite cards. Moving to 71 or into 79. Got the All Pirates run with Stargell and Parker and Blyleven. I might end up moving that Parker to 80. I really like the 80 Parker. Just haven't done it yet. And so you can kind of see as you proceed on. One thing I like about this is it really kind of gives you a glimpse into just kind of the years of Topps and the progress, the progression rather, not necessarily the progress. Certainly not one of those who thinks the older cards are worse than the newer ones, but just kind of as we proceed through the years and the different players. And one of the things, actually, let me pause here real quick. One of the things I think about with the Nolan Ryan is like, who do you think of? What team do you think of with Nolan Ryan? And it's harder for him than it is for a lot of players. I tend to think of him playing for Houston, but I know there's significant opinions on that. That's a nice way of putting it. One of my favorite Ryan Sandberg cards. I love his 90. Getting into 91, Lee Smith, Larry Walker, All-Star Rookie Cup, love those. Junior Ortiz, just highlighted that one. Big old Frank Thomas. Goose Gossage, just a pretty late Gossage there. Griffey Jr., Harkin, Tomey, Bagwell. As you can see, as we get later on in the years, some of these slots just don't have as many. And that's good. You know, a lot of the players that are coming up into the Hall of Fame that will be inducted, you know, in future years, they'll slip right into some of these later years. And so as we get further and further on, 2001, 2002, there's a Tony Gwynn. You know, oh, here we are now, and there's my first empty year, 2004. I've got a couple newer players that I still need to pick up. Just haven't yet. There's the CC Sabathia that I just picked up. Ichiro. Glavin. My son's watching me make a video, so he's making a little noise in the background, but he's excited about this stuff too. So again, not a whole lot in these final years, moving up into the current days, but and there's my last one, Adrian Beltre. So anyway, so this is my binder, this is my project. I'm short 11 different players. Short Jackie Robinson and Mickey Mantle, kind of the obvious ones. And then I'm short Satchel Paige, and then some of the kind of the medium names, like not medium, but as far as cost, you know, Ted Williams and Yogi Berra I'm missing, and but I'm also missing some newer players that I just haven't happened upon. One of the things I've done is let me get this out of the way. That's for something later. This is the way I've kind of sorted and organized my players. So if you go through this box right here, this is alphabetical. So if I pick up a new player, pick up a card from a player that I already have in here, this is how I sort them. These are all Topps cards of Hall of Famers that I keep in this box ready. I just picked up a new, let's see if I can find it here, flipping. I just picked up a new Ozzie Smith this week. Yeah, that one right there. And so, since I picked up a new Ozzie Smith, I just found my Ozzie Smiths, alphabetical order, slipped it in there. And so, I've got some other cards that need to be added to this. There's a 72 Bob Gibson, Andre Dawson, you know, just stuff like that. So, Carew. Pretty much, if I have more than one of their Topps cards, I put it in here so that if I make some switches at some point in the future, I can then adjust the book. And that's what I had to do. I had to put a little bit of time into that tonight when I wanted to add this Johnny Bench. I had Fisk in there, which was cool. I wanted to add the Fisk there, but that was a Seaver, and I had to move a Seaver over to here to get the 75, and that was Tony Perez. And so I had to put in a Tony Perez from 84. So, I mean 83, not 84. That's 84, but I put in an 83 Tony Perez. Anyway, so that's my Hall of Fame binder. That's my update. I hope this video wasn't too shaky. I tried to keep it steady, but There's really no good way. Those of you who've tried to video binders before, you know there's really not a good way to do this. At least I haven't discovered one. And so this was the best way I knew how. So thanks for watching. Comments, questions, if you have them, throw them in below. I just enjoy talking about this. This is certainly something that I've just loved doing, and will continue to pick up Hall of Famers and just make some adjustments and changes as I go. I've really enjoyed this project. So anyway, at 10.5 minutes, that's certainly long enough. Thanks for watching if you have, and we'll catch you next time.